The formation of Kyrgyzstan through the ages. 1. Prehistoric and ancient times. Kyrgyzstan's territory has been inhabited since the Paleolithic period. Archaeological discoveries across the Tian Shan mountains reveal traces of early human life dating back over 300,000 years. Early societies were primarily nomadic, relying on hunting, gathering, and animal domestication. By the Bronze Age, the region became part of the Andronovo and Scythian cultures. These Indo-Iranian nomads left behind burial mounds, kurgans, petroglyphs, and tools that reflected a sophisticated, mobile society. The area was an important part of trade and migration routes that connected civilizations across Asia. 2. The early Kyrgyz and the Yenisei Kyrgyz, 6th to 10th century CE. The Kyrgyz people are first clearly mentioned in Chinese records during the 6th century CE, described as nomadic warriors living in the Yenisei River region in modern-day Siberia. They established the Yenisei Kyrgyz Khaganate and maintained their independence against powerful neighbors such as the Gokturks and Uyghurs. In 840 CE, the Kyrgyz defeated the Uyghur Khaganate and briefly rose to regional prominence. Despite their strength, the Yenisei Kyrgyz gradually declined and scattered southward into Central Asia, including what is now Kyrgyzstan. 3. Turkic and Mongol domination, 10th to 15th century. By the 10th century, the Kyrgyz began migrating to the Tian Shan mountain range, where they adapted to highland life. Here, they mixed with local Turkic and Iranian-speaking populations. In the 13th century, Genghis Khan's Mongol Empire swept across Central Asia. Kyrgyz tribes were incorporated into the empire but retained some autonomy due to their remote and rugged terrain. After the empire fragmented, Kyrgyz lands became part of the Chagatai Khanate. During this era, the Kyrgyz preserved their nomadic lifestyle and tribal organization. Their isolation helped them maintain language, customs, and identity even under foreign rule. 4. The Khanates and tribal confederations, 15th to 19th century. After the Mongol era, Kyrgyzstan was influenced by several regional powers, including the Timurid Empire, Kazakh Khanate, and Kokand Khanate. By the 17th century, Kyrgyz tribes had formed loose confederations and resisted outside control. In the 18th and early 19th centuries, the Kokand Khanate, based in the Fergana Valley, began exerting political and military control over Kyrgyz lands. The Kokand rulers imposed taxes and garrisons, which led to revolts and intertribal conflict. During this period, Kyrgyzstan remained decentralized, with tribal elders, manaps, holding authority. Oral tradition, epic poetry, like the Epic of Manas, and nomadic culture were central to Kyrgyz identity. 5. Russian Empire and colonial rule, mid-19th, early 20th century. In the mid-1800s, as the Russian Empire expanded into Central Asia, it clashed with the Kokand Khanate and eventually annexed the Kyrgyz lands. By 1876, Kyrgyzstan was officially incorporated into the Russian Empire after the fall of Kokand. The Russian administration introduced new taxation systems, settled Slavic populations, and built infrastructure. The Kyrgyz, especially in the south, resisted colonization. The 1916 Irkut Uprising was a major revolt against Russian conscription policies, resulting in mass killings and forced migration to China. Despite repression, Russian rule also brought schools, roads, and integration into global markets, beginning a slow transformation of traditional Kyrgyz life. 6. Soviet Kyrgyzstan, 1917 to 1991. Following the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, Central Asia was engulfed in civil war. After the Bolsheviks won, Kyrgyzstan became a part of the Soviet Union. Key milestones. 1924, created as the Kara-Kyrgyz Autonomous Oblast within the Russian SFSR. 1926, renamed the Kyrgyz Autonomous Soviet Socialist Republic, ASSR. 1936, became the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic, a full union republic of the USSR. The Soviets implemented forced collectivization, targeting nomads and traditional leaders. Thousands were killed or exiled, and famine followed. Kyrgyz society was transformed. Nomadic life was eliminated, and people were settled into villages and towns. Russian language and culture were promoted over Kyrgyz heritage. Education and literacy dramatically increased, along with industrial development. The Epic of Manas was published and promoted as a symbol of national culture, albeit under tight Soviet control. By the 1980s, nationalism quietly reemerged, especially as the Soviet economy stagnated. 7. Independence and post-Soviet transition, 1991 to 2005. Kyrgyzstan declared independence on August 31, 1991, following the collapse of the Soviet Union. Askar Akayev, a reformist scientist, became the first president. Initially, Kyrgyzstan was seen as the most democratic republic in Central Asia. It joined international organizations and embraced a market economy. However, the country faced serious challenges: economic collapse and unemployment due to loss of Soviet subsidies, corruption, poverty, and regional disparities, rising ethnic tensions, especially between Kyrgyz and Uzbeks in the south. Akayev's government gradually became more authoritarian, leading to growing public dissatisfaction. 8. Revolutions and political instability, 2005 to 2010. In 2005, the Tulip Revolution ousted Akayev, replacing him with Kurmanbek Bakiyev. Initially promising reforms, Bakiyev also fell into corruption and nepotism. In 2010, a second uprising overthrew Bakiyev. The same year, ethnic violence erupted in southern Kyrgyzstan, leaving hundreds dead, especially in Osh. Following the unrest, Kyrgyzstan adopted a parliamentary system, becoming the first in Central Asia to limit presidential powers. 9. Modern Kyrgyzstan, 2010-present. Since 2010, Kyrgyzstan has held multiple elections, though with challenges. In 2017, Sooronbay Jeenbekov became president. In 2020, post-election protests erupted again over alleged vote rigging. Jeenbekov resigned, and Sada Japarov, a nationalist figure once jailed, rose to power. In 2021, Japarov won a presidential election and passed a referendum shifting back to a strong presidential system. While some praised his leadership, others feared a return to authoritarianism. Today, Kyrgyzstan continues to face issues such as political volatility, regional inequality, water and border disputes with neighbors, pressure from Russia, China, and the West in balancing foreign policy. Conclusion: Kyrgyzstan's journey from ancient nomadic tribes to a modern republic has been marked by resilience and transformation. Despite repeated foreign domination and internal strife, the Kyrgyz people have preserved a strong sense of identity rooted in the mountains, their language, and traditions. In a region often ruled by strongmen, Kyrgyzstan stands out for its active civil society, periodic peaceful transfers of power, and efforts to maintain a democratic system, albeit fragile and constantly evolving.